Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from up front here. Y'all just sit on back and relax.
You can be my wingman anytime.
There's someone on the wing. Something.
We're winging it, Jerry.
Wing it.
Wing it. We can't all just wing it.
You gotta have a wingman.
Welcome to the Wingmen, a podcast with James Clemens Jets Sports squarely in the crosshairs, with your hosts Captain Kirk Pierce, Coach Johnny Lone Star Johnson, and Coach Brad Homebrew Kimbrew.
Let's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Hold on to your butts.
Don't go away. The Wingmen will be right back.
At Walk-On Sports Bistro, our love for the game, community, and heart of a walk-on make you feel like family the moment you walk in. Wings, shrimp, and burgers made from scratch, wall-to-wall TVs, and signature drinks. Founded by two LSU walk-ons, Walk-On Sports Bistro brings the cuisine, the culture, and the community to life. Always fun, never forced, and our doors are open to anyone. Walk-On Sports Bistro, 8368 Highway 72 West in Madison. Walk-On Sports Bistro.
If you're looking to make your business stand out, save yourself some time and make Apparel Lab in Madison your first call. Apparel Lab will help you grow your brand with custom t-shirts and hoodies using their unique direct-to-garment printing. Laser engraving can put your design on mugs and tumblers. Plus, they can help with custom-designed hats, stickers, banners, signs, decals, and much more. Apparel Lab. Call 344-4656 or visit them online at apparellab.inc and on Facebook and Instagram. Located in the Madison Mall Shopping Center on Old Madison Pike. Apparel Lab.
Are pests invading your home or business? Mosquitoes embedded on your property? Maybe excessive crawl space moisture has attracted unwanted visitors. Then call RedHawk Pest Control, offering residential and commercial pest control, mosquito and brown recluse management, stinging insect control, foundation vents, and many other services to North Alabama and Southern Tennessee. RedHawk aims to be more than just a service provider. They want to build a long-term relationship with each customer. Call RedHawk Pest Control at 256-975-8817. Visit them on Facebook or online at redhawkpestcontrol.com.
Remember the days when you had that one mechanic you could count on time after time? At Madison Automotive, they believe that the key is building lasting relationships with their customers. Their experienced and certified technicians are passionate about providing high-quality services with honest communication and attention to detail. From routine maintenance to major repairs, Madison Automotive uses top-quality parts and state-of-the-art equipment to ensure your car receives the best care possible. Located at 9075 Madison Boulevard, call 256-772-0760. Madison Automotive.
Whether you're an experienced golfer or a total beginner, Madison Golf Center has the largest, most up-to-date practice range in North Alabama, including a complete teaching center with the best and most experienced instructional staff available at your convenience. Madison Golf Center features the most complete driving range facility around, with a large grass tee area allowing for 100 hitting stations a day with a 14-day rotation. Open every day year-round and located at 401 Lime Quarry Road, between Wall Trina and Hughes Road. Madison Golf Center.
Now, more of the Wingmen on PAS Plus.
Now here we go.
Goodness, what's up, Jet Nation? Hope everybody's doing well. We are the Wingmen, and it's time for the Wingmen podcast, brought to you live right here at Walk-On Sports Bistro on Highway 72 in Madison. This is your one-stop shop for all things James Clemens Jets, where we deep dive into the world of athletics and our favorite high school. We break down games, analyze plays, and interview players and coaches who make it all happen. We also tend to have a little bit of fun, so buckle up, Jets fans. It's time to take flight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kirk Pierce, also known as the Captain. He didn't even wait for me to point, did he? He just went right into it. Also joining me to my left, head coach for James Clemens softball, Brad Homebrew Kimbrew.
My homebrew sneaks up on you.
We got our producer extraordinaire, Mr. Tim Oz Lambert.
I am Oz, the great and powerful.
Chief statistician, Carson Stone Cold Stretch Austin.
Stretch!
Oh, and there's one more. I was doing the dramatic pause like I'm doing Shakespearean theater. Oh yeah, you like that? See? Now, head coach for James Clemens Baseball, Johnny Lone Star Johnson.
I've been looking for you, Lone Star.
Who's not here, so that's very appropriate.
He's a little under the weather.
He is. He's not feeling well.
Not feeling well.
So not feeling well. So, Johnny, we hope you're doing well tonight, and hope you get better, man. You will be missed. So, as we sit here at the table, what do we call this? The jump seat, the cockpit. I don't know what we call this anymore. As we're on episode 14 of the podcast.
Man, and they've gone fast. I mean,
they really have.
I'm shocked that we've done 14 of them, and then here we are at the end of football season, and we're nearing the end of our fall season, I guess, of Wingmen.
Well, and I'm beginning to wonder. Walk-ons is starting to kind of get to the point where they reserve this whole section.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they do it on a nightly basis because they know they never know when we're going to show up. I mean, we're here every Tuesday, but they never know.
Yeah, every Tuesday they reserve these booths for what they call family, and some of them are family, and a lot of them are just friends. But, man, we've had a great time over the last 14 weeks of people coming and hanging out and being a part of the show. And we've had great times before the show, after the show, certainly during the show. And we got to meet some cool guests.
We really have.
I mean, we've had some cool people on, so I guess we can talk about all this next week too. But
well, and the thing that I got for me, and you and I talked about this, and Johnny, and we all talked about this a few weeks ago, is for me, doing this for the past 4+ years of doing James Clemens, and with you guys for the past 2, this is our 3rd season. Doing this podcast has allowed me to actually meet a lot of the coaches, a lot of the players, and spend time with them and get to know others that I don't know that I would have been able to do.
Yeah, and I think we forget that or didn't realize that early on is like, Johnny and I are in the building with these people every day. When we're doing football games, we're in the building with these people, and we know these people or have a relationship with these people or get to talk to them on a daily basis. And then you're there every Friday night, and you're so involved, and you're a big part of the broadcast and the athletics and what we're doing, yet you don't get that opportunity. So I think the podcast has been huge for those people to get to know you and for you to get to see the character and the integrity and the humor and the personality of some of these people.
Yeah, and thinking about this past Friday night, we'll talk about that in just a second. It's not really something we want to.
We don't relive it.
We don't want to necessarily relive it, but that's part of the podcast is to kind of recap what has happened, and we'll bring Stone Cold Stretch on in here in a minute. But one of the things that this podcast has allowed me to do is go out there on the field after the game, before the game, kind of talk to the coaches. And
we were down there last week hanging out before pregame.
And you would think that would be something that would be, kind of standard, but it's not. And this has been, after Friday night's game, I was able to go onto the field, and after we wrapped up, and some of the players, we hugged, and especially the seniors, and got to, kind of experience that emotion. And it kind of took us back. For me, it took me back, to my senior year and our last play of the semifinals in the state playoffs that still haunts us to this day, where we were leading in the 4th quarter, and then there was a blocked punt, and final score 17-14.
Do you know, to this day, I'm 42 years old. To this day, I've never watched the film from my last game.
Well, I believe it.
I've never watched it.
I believe
because there's one play in that game where one of my teammates said, "Hey, man, you could have got to that ball," and the other one said, "Man, you didn't have a chance at it." But I'm terrified if I go back and watch it that I'll realize that I had a chance, because if I do get to that ball, it gives us a chance to secure that win.
Yeah, man.
So I'd rather not know.
I get it, man. I get it. And then, going on the field and seeing Anthony Ortiz, to give him the mellow mushroom, I was able to do that. And,
he was fired up about it, wasn't he?
Pumped, dude. Yeah. He was so pumped.
Man,
and
those kids have been excited every week when myself or Coach Johnson or whoever gives them that card and lets them know that because oftentimes, they're playing. They don't get to listen to it. So that a lot of them, that's their introduction to our broadcast is they're like, wait, I won what?
Yeah.
And we explain it, and then they go back and they listen, and you have guys like Ty Doty who knew 2 years ago that about the broadcast, and he'll come in and say, I appreciate y'all, hyping me up, or appreciate y'all complimenting me. And so those guys love to go back and listen to. I know our softball kids enjoy it.
Yeah.
They love going back and listening to the broadcast and hearing their names called or reliving a play that they made or a big hit or something. So those football guys, they love it.
Well, so Stone Cold, Stretch.
Yep.
So let me tell you how famous you are.
All right.
You are so famous. You and Tim both are so famous that our server here at Walk-Ons.
Oh, yeah.
Our server refers to him as Stretch.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know his name. She calls him Stretch, and she knows that every time this is how famous you are. Both of y'all, though, or maybe it's that y'all are just consistent in what you get. I mean, Tim, usually get the catfish platter. Mm-hmm. She always has your Coke ready for you. Mm-hmm. And then for Stretch, we get a little bit of the adult grilled cheese.
Yep.
When you say adult grilled cheese, though, you got to explain it to them, because I don't want anybody thinking that it's something that only 18 plus. Tell them what's on it.
Nah, it's just a grilled cheese with bacon on it. It's not much.
See?
It's also pretty big.
Don't downplay it.
It's also pretty big, though. It's actually really.
It comes with a side of marinara.
Yeah.
And you always go with the chips and queso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my deal.
That's his. And see, she didn't even come over. She walks over. Hey, Stretch. Adult grilled cheese?
Yep.
He's like, yeah. Side of queso and chips? He's like, yeah.
Yep.
So Stretch, man, Friday night wasn't the game we wanted, but it was the game we got. Final score 70-14. Most points scored against James Clemens that I have been around for. I know it's not the most points scored against James Clemens. That came first game of the season, but unfortunately this Friday night, we went up against a really talented team. Not Pinson Valley. That was his old team.
Central
Phoenix City. I don't know what I was thinking about Pat Nix for, but anyway. So, Stretch, tell us some of those stats from Friday night.
All right, we'll start with the offense and the passing game. Jacoby Gill, 8 of 22 passing for 68 yards a pick, as well as 3 carries for a touchdown. We have Matthew Evers, 1 of 2 for 17 yards passing, and Miles Major, 1 of 1 for 53 yards passing. Going over to the running game, Cam Berry, 17 carries for 31 yards, as well as 3 catches for 60 yards. MJ Gideon, 6 carries for 19 yards, as well as a catch for 7. Ty Doty, 3 carries for 2 yards, 2 catches for 18 yards. Alex Lively, 3 catches for 50 yards, and AJ Kelly also got a catch for 5 yards. Moving over to the defensive side, we have DJ Davis with 2 tackles, Bryson Dowdell with 2 tackles and 2 pass breakups, Rashad Freeman with a tackle and a fumble recovery, breakup by Dylan Brandon, 2 tackles from Hayes Harrison, 3 tackles from Jock Dennis, and also tackles from Tyler Gage, James Hollins, Tank Ezel, Christian Wyatt, Mason Rose, Jeremiah Pritchett, Miles Taylor, and Gage Olander. And of course, can't forget the kicking, Anthony Ortiz, 2 of 2 on extra points, as well as a carry for a 14-yard touchdown.
14-yard touchdown right there for Anthony Ortiz. That, over the course of the 3 years that he's been doing some of the special teams, seeing him get even better at the punting game, and then being able to score a touchdown on the final play or final game of the season for him and the seniors was a big deal. What started off, Brad and Stretch, what started off as being, we right off the bat, we come out with a little trick play.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give you kudos.
Second play of the game.
Second play of the game, you called it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I had a little inside info.
I'm sure you did. But we got really excited.
Oh, yeah.
And should be. I mean, we had to generate points, and we knew that was going to have to be the case.
Right.
Unfortunately, then Central Phoenix City just kind of.
It was a tight game throughout the first quarter.
Yeah.
And we did what we could to hang in there. Yes, we had to get gimmicky at times, and we had to really expand our playbook to some degree. And kudos to Coach Truitt for putting those things together, little wrinkles and little things, and they worked.
Yeah.
And then even second quarter, we had opportunities, but a drop ball here or an errant throw there or something crazy happens. I think Coach Truitt did a good job of dialing up the right plays, setting things up, and then we just didn't execute at certain times. But, it could have been a 28-21 game at the half.
Sure.
If things go differently and we hold possession a little bit longer, even a 28-28 game at the half, and would that have made a huge difference in the end? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But it does a little bit more for morale. It does a lot for you. We talked about the other night, just keeping your defense off the field sometimes.
Sure.
Being able to hold time of possession a little bit longer and sustain some drives. But anyway, at the end of the day, we lost to an extremely talented and well-coached Central Phoenix City team.
Yeah.
Hats off to our guys again for just finishing second in the region, being able to host a playoff game, and then playing as well as they did in the first quarter and even the first half.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, hate that for the seniors, but the seniors worked hard. Were able to accomplish a lot of the goals. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And going back 14 weeks ago, talking to Coach McGee, obviously wanted to get the region championship, finishing runner-up, and being able to host a first-round playoff game was, definitely on the list. So, unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but it did the way it is.
Everything ends badly. Otherwise, it wouldn't end.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It's kind of our message to our players every year. The softball season is, I know you're upset, but everything ends badly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it does not end. It continues to go on. So,
well, just remember that you can follow the JC Wingmen on Threads, Instagram, and X, and look for the Wingmen on Facebook. We'll keep you updated on scores via Score Stream throughout the week. We're going to take our first break, and then when we come back, hey, we're going to have our first guest.
Oh, yeah, I like this guy.
I'm a little excited.
Yeah.
I don't want to let it out of the bag yet.
No.
Let's take a break. You're listening to The Wingmen right here on PAS+.
Go to your Amazon Echo device and say, Alexa, open PAS Plus, and hear The Wingmen along with coverage of James Clemens football in crystal clear quality all season long. The Wingmen will be back after this.
Local sports are brought to you in part by Limestone County Commission Chairman Colin Daly. Visit the County Commission page at limestonecounty-al.gov to keep up with what's going on in the county and find out what ranks us in the top 5% in the state. You can also call Colin at 256-233-6400 or on his cell phone at 256-800-4544.
At Walk On Sports Bistro, our love for the game, community, and heart of a walk-on make you feel like family the moment you walk in. Wings, shrimp, and burgers made from scratch, wall-to-wall TVs, and signature drinks. Founded by two LSU walk-ons, Walk On Sports Bistro brings the cuisine, the culture, and the community to life. Always fun, never forced, and our doors are open to anyone. Walk On Sports Bistro, 8368 Highway 72 West in Madison. Walk On Sports Bistro.
Are pests invading your home or business? Mosquitoes embedded on your property? Maybe excessive crawl space moisture has attracted unwanted visitors. Then call RedHawk Pest Control, offering residential and commercial pest control, mosquito and brown recluse management, stinging insect control, foundation vents, and many other services to North Alabama and Southern Tennessee. RedHawk aims to be more than just a service provider. They want to build a long-term relationship with each customer. Call RedHawk Pest Control at 256-975-8817. Visit them on Facebook or online at redhawkpestcontrol.com.
You can't spell Wingmen without the letters W-I-N, and the Wingmen podcast has plenty of ways to win. Here's one. The RedHawk Top Flight Award. Nominate a student, teacher, administrator, or anyone from the James Clemens family for a job well done. We'll give away a gift card from Walk On Sports Bistro on each show, and at the end of the football season, we'll draw from those names for a year of service from RedHawk Pest Control, the RedHawk Top Flight Award. Get your entries in today at jcwingmen.net. From RedHawk Pest Control, Walk On Sports Bistro, and the Wingmen Podcast.
The Wingmen Podcast is back now on PAS Plus.
Welcome back to the Wingmen right here on PAS Plus. Kirk Pierce, Brad Kimbrough, Stone Cold Stretch Austin, Tim Lambert, all sitting around the table here at Walk On Sports Bistro on Highway 72 in Madison for episode 14 of the podcast. And glad you're along with us for the ride or the flight. Is that what we would say as you're drinking your soda?
Had to wash down the bread pudding.
Yeah, I saw that, man. You got that while I was talking. I was like, when did you order that? You gave her the little...
I did. I gave her a wink and a nod, and she knew what a fat kid wanted.
She knew the bread pudding was on tap. So, hey, listen, You can check us out and follow the PAS Plus mobile app. It's your connection to all of our live streams, along with scores, game archives, and a whole lot more. All you got to do is go online to jcwingmen.net for the download links. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you, bringing to the table, bringing to the cockpit, the jump seat. We got to come up with a name for this. Yeah. We need to get it sponsored.
Oh,
I guess it's walk-ons, isn't it, Tim?
I guess it would be.
I guess it's walk-ons. The walk-ons cockpit, jump seat, I don't know.
Well, our guest is in the jump seat.
He's in the jump seat, so we're sitting in the cockpit. I like that, Tim. See, that's why Tim is the producer extraordinaire, and he is the man behind the curtain, the wonderful, fabulous
great and powerful.
The great and powerful Oz, yeah. So our first guest tonight is Coach Kevin Pecor. He is the wrestling coach at James Clemens. Coach, welcome to the table.
How's it going?
So right off the bat, I told Brad, I was like, now, hey, where are we going here? I mean, is he going to be okay if I asked him what would be his intro music if he was in wrestling? I mean, if if you were like in WWE, would you have pyro? What would you do?
I think the redneck in me would have to do Kid Rock's Ball to Ball.
Okay, ball to ball.
My oldest son, or my son rather, learned to walk to Ball to Ball. He would start head bouncing, or he'd start head banging, and start pushing a coffee can around the kitchen, and he's just, I don't know if it was the Saudi Daisy in him or what, but his redneck juices just got pumping.
The Saudi Daisy, that's where you're from, Saudi Daisy?
No, I'm from Memphis, but he was born in Saudi, so he's got Saudi blood in him. It's like a bad virus, you can't get it out.
So Memphis, I mean, the easy thing to do would be to talk Memphis wrestling, but that's not really what we want to talk about. Well, we can.
Jerry King Lawler, Lawler's Barbecue, voting for Jerry the King Lawler for mayor in 2000, watching him lose, asking my mom as a kid, like, Mom, would you please vote for Jerry the King Lawler? And learning that apparently people don't just throw their votes away. So that may have been the one vote that put him over the top.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean, did you go to a lot of wrestling?
No, so a lot of that stuff was in parts of Memphis that my parents didn't let me go.
Yeah.
The Coliseum, where all the old Memphis wrestling took place. If you weren't there for a graduation or watching the River Kings play, you probably didn't go there for anything else. It's not a place you want to be after dark. So.
No, I know that we went through Memphis back during fall break. We were on our way to the Ozarks and for fall break, and we drove pretty fast.
Yeah, we got a
as
rule.
Fast as we could.
If you're downtown and the street's named after a state, you don't need to be there.
So what got you into wrestling, though, for real? I mean,
I got cut from the baseball team.
Oh.
So my older brother.
I love his honesty, by the way. Every day I get this gold from him.
So my brother got drafted by the Texas Rangers as a pitcher in 2000. And my brother's 6'3", 250 pounds, threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And I was 6 foot, 145 pounds, and couldn't hit 50 miles an hour. And so, as it turns out, there wasn't a lot of need for that on the baseball team.
Yeah, they kind of want you to be able to hit. I mean, that's part of
not being able to see, not being able to throw, not being able to catch. Apparently, those are intangibles that come with baseball.
It's weird.
I
think they set the bar way too high.
Very much so. It was a great story. It was one of those things where they posted who made the team outside the school door. I rode up there in the rain to check to see if my name was on there. Wasn't on there.
Total rejection.
Total rejection. I rode home and said, maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed my name. So I rode back in the rain on my bicycle up to the school, just to let you know, second time my name still wasn't on there.
So nobody did a ride in?
Yeah.
See, that's what you should have done, is written your name.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. My name was in pencil. Everybody else was in printed ink. Like, does that mean something?
It's typewriter back then. Typewriter posted, yeah.
So you went into wrestling and as a default, or is that something you were kind of interested in?
So So in Memphis proper, there's only one or two schools that actually have wrestling. When I got to high school, we moved out to a place called Germantown.
I know Germantown.
And so their baseball team was phenomenal. They were national champs.
Yeah.
They had like D1 guys every year. But my dad's a carpenter, and the wrestling coach at Germantown did carpentry in the off season to make extra money. And he actually wrestled for UT Martin when my dad played football for UT Martin. And so one morning, my dad had gone to a carpentry convention, and my dad's like, "Hey, you know Coach Bradley?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Go tell him you're my son." And that was about all she wrote. I went and told him I was his son, and next thing I know, I'm in wrestling practice. And
you wearing a singlet?
I was in a singlet.
You're like wearing it every day at school, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So it was, yeah. We had it was the spandex singlets back then. Now they got this nice stretchy lycra. It looks all good. Back then, if you stood up too fast, things happened. So, like, you had to be careful back in the day wearing their singlets. So.
Like everybody that I know who got into wrestling and made something of it, became a state champion, fell into coaching, whatever. Right. But ended up with a long wrestling history there. Everybody I know fell into it somehow.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody was out pursuing wrestling.
No.
It was kind of like your situation where, hey, go see this coach and talk to him. The next thing you know, you're on the wrestling team.
Yeah.
I know a couple guys like at Deschler. That's
exactly
they
how
left junior high football, and Coach Laxton said, "Hey, boy, be at the gym tomorrow," and they just said, "Yes, sir." They didn't know what for, but like tomorrow they're running 5 miles.
Yeah,
and the next day they're running 5 miles, and by the end of the week they're just on the wrestling team.
All of a sudden, I graduated. I told you guys I graduated from Lincoln County, and through my high school in the '80s, they didn't have a wrestling team. Well, by the time my brother graduated in '99, they had started their wrestling team, and so because he was an inside linebacker, they were like, "Hey,
get that guy."
We need him. And so he didn't have any idea. His wrestling, literally, his experience was me and my middle brother whipping the crap out of him every day in the house. And he was like, "Yeah, I can wrestle." And then he goes in there, and all of a sudden he's wearing this tight singlet. And as soon as he walked out, man, I could not quit laughing at it because it just wasn't him.
Better not laugh long. He can take you.
He can now, for sure. He can now. He learned a few tricks. And I told y'all one that he learned, and I don't want to, that's why I didn't want to wrestle. When he told me off, when I told y'all off the air. So, as I get choked up thinking about it, I get emotional.
Good times, right? Yeah, very emotional.
So, what brought you into coaching with wrestling?
So, I walked on to wrestle at UT Chattanooga, and I ended up blowing out my lower back and being done competing, and it's kind of like a bad relationship where wrestling did me wrong, so I didn't want to talk to it anymore. And a buddy of mine started,
like an unfaithful girlfriend, wasn't it?
Like I just got done.
Keep
dirty.
coming back to her.
That's what I tell people. Is you give wrestling everything you got, and she's going to treat you so dirty. She's going to leave you broken.
So true.
And so, a buddy of mine, was like, "Hey, I'm helping out with this little school. Can you come help me?" And next thing I know, I'm wearing a polo, standing on the side, yelling at kids. And now, 17 years later, I'm still coaching James Clemens High School, and I kind of fell into the coaching aspect of it by accident. So
same way you fell on the wrestling team.
Exactly.
So just showed up one day.
So what is the toughest thing to teach kids about wrestling? I mean, really?
Realistically, the mental resilience. That is the one intangible. Like, I can tell you where to put your hands, I can tell you where you put your hips, but the mental fortitude and resilience that it takes to step out onto the mat, day after day. When you keep getting your stuff pushed in, or whether you're winning and you have the pressure that comes with winning, just the mental resilience. Like, I had the second place I ever coached. I mean, I had a kid who was a great football player, wrestled for me as a freshman, wrestled for me as a sophomore. His junior year, I said, "Coach, I can't do it anymore." Like, walking out there by myself and knowing that everybody's looking at me, I cannot do it anymore. I said, "Son, you walk out every Friday night and you got hundreds of people staring at you." I said, "Coach, they're looking at other people too." Like, it's just me, and I can't do it anymore. I'm like, oh man, okay. And that's the crazy thing is, you see guys that come through that are just like athletes, You put them in the wrestling room, they can't take the vulnerability of the fact that they just lost. They can't, Friday night you lose, you point fingers, you chew each other out. You lose in a wrestling match, it's you. There's nothing like your inadequacies got you to that point. Whether it's lack of knowledge, whether it's lack of work ethic, whether that dude's just 3-time state champ and he came to break a piece of you off that night. So teaching guys to come back, and that's the crazy thing is like you look at some of the guys on my team, like they've got about as much athleticism as that glass of Coke right there. However, the fact that they just keep coming back day after day after day, and I tell people, it's like, I think there's something with this generation of guys that there's a lot of dudes that want to be badasses. They just don't know how. And so they're looking for that thing, man. That's what one of my assistant coaches is a Marine. And, the Marines never have to struggle with recruiting. Like, people want to prove themselves. And I think a lot of the guys on the team is that group of guys that just wants to prove themselves to check, do they measure up? And so, they may not have the physical intangibles, but between their heart and their head, they're stepping up to it every day.
I never thought of it in that term. Like, I think across the board, as far as coaches, what we're struggling with the most is teaching kids mental toughness, right? Like just the willingness to want to go out and compete your tail off every single day. Is hard enough. You don't have that many kids anymore that grew up in those family environments or grew up competing, where we grew up competing at everything. Right? So it was kind of ingrained in you by the time you're in 7th, 8th grade.
Most of the time, we're not for me because I'm 5'7", but a lot of the guys were 3-sport through high school. You know, you're playing your football, your basketball.
When people ask what sports did you play, I tell them whatever season was next.
Which season.
Right? So I think across the board, we're struggling with those kids that are just there to compete and really have it in them to be a dog and compete.
Right.
But in wrestling, that's got to be so much greater because, like you said, you're going out there on your own. It is one-on-one. And if you get owned, that's totally on you. There is nobody else to blame. You can't look around and say, well, so-and-so didn't pull their weight. That's on you.
So with...
And I think a lot of kids, it's easier to say they didn't try than it is to say they failed. And you can't hide that in a sport like wrestling where it is just you.
So what do you tell the kid? That comes off that from a mental standpoint that they know they just got it handed to them. What do you tell them?
Realistically, a lot of times it depends on like the level of the kid. It's a kid that's brand new. The width of things that you can tell him that he's got to work on so wide. What's been really fun is the last couple of years where I'm starting to get guys that are a lot better. And so we can like dial things in. It's like, hey, like that little moment, half-second pause that you did right there, like he covered that distance, so he got to your foot. But a lot of it is like just talking to the guys is like, that guy was better than you. What are you going to do to get better? And so, if it's a guy, walking out there as a freshman going against 3-time state champs, like, dude, look, man, you're like, you didn't die. That's good. Like, way to go, man. Like, you still have a pulse and you've got, 4 working limbs after that match. That's good. But other people, it's just like we've got to get better at the small things where, it's fakes, it's the small minutia of wrestling. So I don't know what you do for baseball guys. Like, hey, he just smokes you with 3 fastballs inside. What do you do? But with the wrestling, it's just we come back, get better. So
I think it's still mindset, regardless of what sport. It's still that mindset to go out there and want to compete. But yeah, it is totally different when you have to walk out there and that.
And one of the things we talk about is there's an expression in wrestling called winning at the weigh-in. Like you win it, like you step on the scale and dude looks like he's cut from like straight granite. Like, holy smokes. And what we have done a lot to work on, and what I have like pushed myself to work on is like the small mental approaches, like not worrying about what the guy's built like, but walking them through the mentality of when you are starting on the mat, when you are starting before the whistle ever blows, what's going through your mind, like setting up essentially like it's the first drive of football. Like you have, kind of laid out what you're going to do for these 5 plays. Like you already know what you're going to do. And so, I started, I do a lot of fishing, so we talk to guys about little finesse stuff. It's like, it's the little finesse things that are going to, like, make a big difference down the road. Like doing this, like being able to shimmy your hips here. But if you can't even get to your butt, then you ain't going to be able to shimmy your hips.
So how do these kids get matched up with the 3-time state champ? I mean, is it the luck of the draw?
So, in high school wrestling, there's 14 weight classes. And we have historically had wrestle-offs. This year, I told the guys, what we have seen happen is guys will get up for the wrestle-off, and then they'll just kind of coast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told them, I was like, guys, this year's like, I'm gonna tell you who's starting. Like what about wrestle offs? I'm like, what about working hard? So
let's just get better.
That's what I tell them every day. They're like, Coach, we're going to work on. We're working on getting better. What's that mean? It's like, we're going to lift, we're going to wrestle, we're going to sprint. Like, we're going to get better. So it's just luck of the draw. Sometimes you got a guy that's. We call him in wrestling, he's a fish. You go out there, you pin your fish, you get back to the bench. Sometimes you go out there. What we're working on this year is we've gotten to the point where when we win or we lose, it's pin or get pinned.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're working on is now like learning how not to get pinned.
Mm-hmm.
Like pretty much just beating the hell out of each other in the wrestling room, learning how to get off your back and not give up 6.
Yeah.
We went down and wrestled at Daphne a couple of years ago, and we had we were wrestling Daphne. It came down to the last match. We had to pin their kid to win, and that kid, my kid beat him everywhere on that mat, but he could not pin him. And Daphne ended up winning because his guy did not get pinned. And so that, like I tell people, it's like if we divided the sport in like the teams in 7, 8, and thirds, we're about the middle of the middle third.
Mm-hmm.
And to make that jump into that next third is we've got to stop giving up big points.
Yeah.
Where, if you look at football, you got to stop giving up touchdowns and just give up field goals. So, if we can give up 3 points instead of 6 points, like that's a huge swing for us. And so I think those are the things that we're starting to do to get better. We have Florence. Florence is our first match next Tuesday. That'll be a good test because Grider at Florence there's a couple of guys that he has that are always like really, really good. His upper weights, there's a couple of guys, Ryan Johnson, and another kid named Johnson. They're not brothers. But they're really good, and so just if we can not get pinned like that changes the landscape of a match.
Is that at home?
Yeah, it's at home. I actually talked to Johnny. I set it up. We were supposed to do this 2 years ago, but it got too cold. The plan is right now, if weather holds out, we're going to wrestle it on the baseball field.
What?
No, you're not.
I was wondering why weather had anything to do with it.
Yeah. So next Tuesday
at
night, James Clemens baseball field,
we're going to put the wrestling mat down in the home plate area.
Wow.
So if y'all want to do a live broadcast,
this is next Tuesday. We're supposed to have a Wingmen show, but I'm kind of that.
When does it start?
It should start about 6 o'clock.
Okay, maybe we could have a bonus hour.
We can.
Yeah. So you're going to so instead of coming here, we're going to go over there.
Yeah, we could.
Dude,
do that.
I'm look. You look like Joe Rogan, right?
Give me my smelling salts.
we could pull this off. Can you imagine?
Maybe they could cater over there.
When I think walk-ons would be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Send one of the waitresses over and let's cater that event. And dude, if we could be at the backstop. Think about this.
I wouldn't know how to call it.
Me either, but we don't know how to do this either, Kirk. we don't know. We didn't know what we were doing.
He throws him into the corner turnbuckle. Oh my goodness!
We just see,
where do you set up on the mound?
He said on the home plate.
The plan is since they turfed that field, the plan is to set up at and around home plate.
Okay.
Our mat is about a 40-foot mat.
Yeah.
And so it'll go from the backstop or in front of the backstop up towards pitcher's mound.
We want the JC logo in the picture.
who was it? Missouri wrestled, I think, in northern Iowa a couple of years ago on their softball field. And so, I mean, you've seen a couple of things like Iowa, Oklahoma State wrestled at Kindick Stadium in Iowa. They called it grapple on the gridiron. And so you've seen a couple of different things. There's a couple of schools that have wrestled on a football field in Alabama, but I hadn't seen anybody do it on a baseball field. So we're going to try to, change it up a little bit. See how it turns out.
I think that's awesome, man. That's because you got that brick that kind of lines a little bit around on the side. You end up throwing a kid into the brick, and then they get frustrated.
So the good thing is in wrestling you do have blood time.
What?
Yeah, you have 5
Crimson Mask, baby.
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes to get your kid to stop bleeding, and so
wow.
I tell you what, that's one of the things I love about wrestling is just the brutality of the sport.
Yeah.
Primitive, baby.
We've got injury time. I had a couple of years ago, I had a kid come off. He had injury time because his finger's about as dislocated as it could be. And he walks up and said, "Coach, put it back in." I said, I'm not trained to do that. Trainer. And so the trainer comes over there and pops that thing back in, tapes it up. He goes out there, finishes his match. It's just... Yeah, so I mean, if he gets thrown into the brick, wipe it up, put some Vaseline on it, get going.
Yeah, if that post holding up the backstop becomes an issue. All right, Coach, listen, I could talk to you all day, but I went to the Instagram page for James Clemens Wrestling. I thought, man, I'm going to start promoting this match
Absolutely.
next week. Let's pack the baseball field out.
Let's do it.
Unfortunately, the last post on it was 2019.
Heads up, that's pre-COVID. I don't know if you know that.
As it turns out, I am not good with social media.
That's pre-COVID.
But I mean, you look great in this picture, but
I should.
Yeah, you look great in the picture. But that's 2019.
Him in the green shirt.
Yeah. That's actually up in Ohio.
Man, you got a full beard on there.
Oh, he'll rock a beard this week. Knock it out next week. He's full of testosterone over here. He can grow a beard in about 2 days.
The puberty was good to me.
He did it again in 2019.
That's awesome.
He's also a political analyst. I don't know if you want to get into all that.
I'm pretty sure our audience is pretty. Anyway, no, we won't do that.
Wow.
No, let's not do that. Well, so when did you come? I mean, did you just watching these matches and these colleges that are doing this, and you were like, you know what? I got an idea.
Well, so, probably about 6 years ago, I went to the admin because Vitek had wrestled. Vitek wrestled Cornell, or they wrestled Virginia in their auditorium. And so I was like, dude, that sounds awesome. Let's do it in our auditorium. Our auditorium is about 10 foot too shallow. That stage is about 10 foot too shallow. Falling 6 feet into the orchestra pit wouldn't look too
Oh, it'd be cool, though. It'd be a great picture.
Could be a liability.
Dropping an elbow off the stage into the orchestra
such a great picture, man.
And so we talked about, building out the stage a little bit, but the theater wasn't doing a play that required that. We had talked about doing at Madison City Stadium last year, but that didn't work out. And this year, I'm really hoping that everything works out to where we can do it on the baseball field, just because it's something different.
Yeah.
It's niche enough that it's going to pull people in. It's like, what in the world's going on? Like you're talking about, you don't know what in the world you're looking at when you're watching wrestling. 2000, the 2000 Olympics was the first time I ever saw wrestling. I had no idea what in the world I was watching, but I knew that the American was wrestling the Russian. I was like, Rocky IV, baby. Rocky IV.
That is how I lived my whole life growing up in the 80s, man.
That's it, man.
You was inbred in you to hate the Soviet Union.
You come in there like, I'm a real American.
Oh, yeah. America. Yeah. But I was cheering for the big corn-fed bread American kid wrestling the what do they call him? They call him the Experiment because he looks like a Russian dude. He looks like he's an experiment. Like all of Russian science just built this dude, but he never popped positive somehow. I don't know what it was, but he never popped positive for anything.
So with your philosophy, you're looking, obviously strength plays a role, but speed I'm assuming does as well, right?
Yeah, so our guys aren't really athletic enough to have speed.
But they make up for it by being small.
There you go. See?
So I do have a couple of guys that have, and that's the nice thing about wrestling is you're tall, you're short, you're skinny, you're fat, you're muscular, you're built like sinew. It doesn't really matter. Like, so speed. That's one of the things is like it's if you're not 6'5", 250 pounds, you're not playing linebacker in SEC.
Right.
Dude, you can be 126 pounds, 5'4". I mean, like I tell guys, there's a kid in Bradley County, Tennessee. He was a 3-time state champ. He was a 106 pounder his entire career.
Wait. Did you say 106?
106 pounder. Wow. He was the baddest dude in any gym he walked into, and everybody knew that this dude at 106 pounds was the baddest dude in that gym, and that's the nice thing about wrestling is we've got guys that are you got Tim Coleman, who's a 215 pounder, and I mean he's built like your all-American kid, and we've got kids that I've got a kid on the team that's 88 pounds right now, but he's 88 pounds of raw steel and wrestling appeal. So I mean it's one of those things that doesn't matter whether you're slow, fast. We had a kid a couple of years ago couldn't walk and chew bubble gum, but he put his hands on you, he's gonna break you like vice grips.
Really?
So yeah. So I mean that's the beauty of it is that no matter what you bring to the table, you can be successful. I mean there was a kid a couple of years ago from Notre Dame. He was blind. He's a state champ, and he's blind. I mean we had a kid. There's a kid a couple of years ago. I forget where it was. Maybe it's Penson. He had no legs, and he was a state placer. I mean, he may have been a state champ. So I mean, it's not one of those things that like wrestling, like you. And that's what I tell the guys is you can be as good as you want to be in wrestling. Football, like it's up to your team. In wrestling, it is an individual sport that you are the determining factor in how far you go and how good you get. So I mean, I've got kids. I got a kid's a senior this year that if you had seen him as a freshman, like this dude's going to die. Yeah. And he dedicated himself to me. I tell you, he's born again hard. Like he has just dedicated himself to the weight room, to the mentality of the sport, where like he really legitimately has a chance to be a state champion this year. So I mean, that's the beauty of it is watching these guys walk in from they're self-conscious. They can't do this and that. And by the time they're junior, senior, like they're just laying it on people.
I never, like I said, we never had wrestling. I don't know that I think I would have been the guy that would have been thinking about losing and not being able to handle it. But that's pretty remarkable. Blind, no legs, things like that. Dude, I don't think about that stuff.
I mean, there's a movie coming out. A guy named Anthony Robles. Movie's coming out. J-Lo's playing the mom. He was an NCAA champion back in 2013, 2014. He's missing a leg. So I mean, he was a Division I national champion, missing a leg. So I mean that's
crazy.
That's the nice thing about wrestling is like again, like I said, like you are the determining factor. Like there's no excuses. Like hey, like I've had kids that they've had every kind of physical malady you could have, and it's like look, this can go one of two ways. All right, we can have a pity party for you. Nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
Or we can say we're going to win in spite of this.
Yeah.
All right, and then when you win in spite of it, like people can look at you and like, daggum, son. Like yeah, like I won in spite of this. There's nothing there's no excuses for why you lost. So.
And that's, what a great life lesson.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't going to go through life without some adversity and some bad things happening to you. So how are you going to respond?
Well, wasn't it like Kurt Angle? He in the Olympics, he broke his neck.
Neck.
And won the gold with a broken neck.
The thing nobody ever talks about, his coach was murdered a couple of weeks before the Olympic trials. Like the guy that was running the training facility. So he had like the emotional trauma competing with the fact that like his coach and mentor just got murdered.
Yeah.
And he broke his neck in the Olympic trials. He went and wrestled at the Olympics with a broken neck. Couldn't feel his arms. Like throughout the Olympics, did not have any feelings in his arm. So
guts, baby. Guts.
That's some testicular fortitude, man.
Majorly.
That's legit.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing. Like part of the reason I love wrestling is just like you look at all these different stories, like things like Kurt Angle, the Anthony Robles, the kid from JP2 that won state title, not being able to see, or legally blind. Like there's so many stories. I was like, dude, this dude did it, and like why didn't I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you have to complain about?
Yeah. It's such a gut check. It's such a gut check thing.
I mean, especially, what do you say to that? Coach, I can't do this. Well, you know, dude won the state. He was legally blind.
It's like, Coach, I hurt my leg. Well, this dude ain't got a leg. He just wants to.
You really don't have a lot to stand on.
Stop.
Wow. I don't know why y'all take these puns the way you do.
Wow, that is a bit fun.
Well, look, in all seriousness, before we let you go, I know most of the time when kids come into the 7th grade, 8th grade, you're trying to recruit them to wrestling. How do you get kids interested at a much younger age where they're more experienced?
Realistically, so what I've started doing for the last 7 years is a couple times a year before wrestling season starts is I take the wrestling mat over to Liberty. I did get a chance to do it at Journey this year. But I take the wrestling mat over to Liberty, and we do a demo for their PE blocks.
Yeah.
Because every time I ask them, I was like, hey, raise your hand if your mom and dad played baseball, softball. Raise your hand if your mom and dad played basketball. Raise your hand if your dad played football. Your mom did soccer, dad did soccer. There's always these hands shooting up. And I say, raise your hand if your parents, one of your parents wrestled. And when one kid will raise their hand.
Yeah.
Part of it is just the fact that we live in the Southeast and people just aren't exposed to wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And so taking the wrestling mat over there, putting wrestling in front of them, during the lunch blocks, over at Liberty, tapping my computer into the TV screens and showing them college wrestling highlights. People don't know what they don't know. So putting it in front of them and kind of opening their eyes, like, man, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then the fun thing is when like the geeky kid comes out and starts doing well, it's like, man, he can do it. I can do it. Surely. And so much of it is just like, male rivalry. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to let him go out there and learn to wrestle and beat me up. And then, the kid has a good time. Contagious diffusion. Hey, man, you got to try this. This is awesome. Like, I'm dropping people on their head. It's fun. And so they bring their friends out.
And the confidence that those kids gain from it, too. All of a sudden, where they maybe didn't have a niche before, or they weren't a very good football player or baseball player or whatever, it might be a kid on the smaller side. Yeah. And all of a sudden, man, he's accomplishing something every day.
Sure.
He's working his tail off, and he sees the reward come from it, and he's got that sense of confidence and a little bit air of manliness about him now.
So he gets a little bit of status internally, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is watch it, like being able to see the guys who walk in, shoulders rolled forward, head down. By the time they're 2 years into wrestling, chest up, bowed out, head up, looking around. I tell people, it's like, look, man, you're either the predator or prey. And so we talk about how either you're the gazelle or you're the lion.
Yeah.
I had a kid has wisdom teeth taken out a couple of years ago, and when his mom bringing him home, he was sitting in the back of the car. I'm not a gazelle. I'm not a gazelle.
Wow.
So this dude's under anesthesia, and the only thing going on in his brain is, I'm not a gazelle.
See, that's effective coaching right there. You need to take pride in that, man.
So that's they're starting to take pride in being part of the wrestling team and just all the hard work that they put in, like developing an identity, man. I know, Johnny's done great with the county line culture and stuff like that. I don't know what we got to do. Burr Green, something. I don't know. Burr Green, Boogeyman. Still something. But, just watching the guys starting to take pride in themselves and the team and what we do. So it's been fun.
All right, last question before we let you go. What's this season outlook?
This will be, I realistically think that we've got probably 4 or 5 dudes that could be state placers. We've got 2 or 3 dudes that could legitimately be state champions.
Yeah.
It's been 2020 was the last year that we had a state champ, Ryan Keepers. We have had a state placer every year that James Clemens has been open, at minimum 1. I think that we could probably have 3 to 5 state placers and probably 2 to 3 state finalists, 2 to 3 state champs.
Sweet.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is like the culmination of a lot of hard work by a lot of people. Like parents driving people to camps down in Birmingham up to Ohio. I mean, the amount of times we've driven up and down to Ohio for wrestling camps. Like I could tell you where every Loves is on 65. I could tell you where every Raising Cane's is between Dayton and St. Paris Graham, Ohio. So it's just a lot of work by a lot of kids and a lot of people. So
we've been talking about guys. Any girls?
We do have. So last year we started the girls program. We had 5 girls come out. Three did the whole season. We had 1 girl qualify for the state tournament.
Was that Darby?
No, it was. You just put me on the spot.
Sorry,
one blank on her. No,
sorry, I interrupted you.
I know you made me look.
It
was on the tip of my head, from my tongue. If you had, but she went 2-2. Darby did qualify, but she wasn't able to. It was the girls' state tournament happened when that snow week happened.
Oh, that's right.
And so some people weren't able. You had a lot of people that weren't able to make it because of being snowed in and iced in. We've got 6 girls on the team right now. We're going to try to get them. Florence has a couple girls. We're going to try to get them matched up so that they can start building that experience for the girls' state tournament.
So we see them Tuesday as well?
Hopefully. That's the plan, to try to see them Tuesday.
So go back and tell us again, next Tuesday, our hopes are.
Yeah, next Tuesday, 6 o'clock. The weather holds out. We're going to wrestle Florence High School on James Clemens baseball field, 6 o'clock.
Let's pack this place out.
Let's do it, man. I'm excited.
Let's see if we can get a social media push. I already started by tagging this almost inactive Instagram account.
Did you get an email from Instagram like, hey?
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea.
He doesn't know how to log into it anymore.
I don't. It's one of those things. We have social media. Like, I think we have a Facebook page. Like, I don't know how to use any of that. Like, I tell people, like, I'm a very good coach. I'm a terrible head coach. Like, like if you want me to be a CEO, like, man, you got to have like a COO or a CFO, somebody. Like, I can't. Like, I will coach. Like, I am terrible with all the things that you're supposed to do to promote the sport.
Yeah.
So there's Jay Robinson was the head coach up in Minnesota for 20 plus years, and he built Minnesota from this backwater Big Ten, like, just laughing stock to winning multiple national championships, multiple dual national championships. And I try to emulate him, but I do a very poor job. But just let y'all know, hey, 6 o'clock next Tuesday, we're going to be wrestling Florence High School in the James Clemens baseball field. Weather holding out. If not, it'll be in the gym.
Is Johnny going to do the PA?
Man, I don't know. I got to get it figured out between Clay, Coleman, doing stuff.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
but Johnny does PA for like volleyball and basketball. He's experienced, and he knows our system up there in the press box.
We
can get this place rocking, dude.
And yeah,
my assistant coach bought us some old school coaching shorts.
Oh, like the old two button high waisted polyester
bike.
So we're debating when to break those out.
Oh, that's the night.
You got to tuck in the polo. You got to go high.
Polo, the whistle. Got my white.
Got the long socks.
White tube socks.
Oh, son!
So,
he's gonna look straight like the guy from Dazed and Confused.
I
the old
love
coach
it.
from Dazed and Confused.
I love it. I love it.
One observation here: I noticed he's rocking a cap. It looks like it's from one of our sponsors.
Oh,
Apparel Lab.
Probably, I think so. Yeah. This was a coach's gift. I mean, I'm not going to take it off because I'm going to lose my headphones. No, this was a coach's gift from last year. This is probably one of my favorite hats. Like, you can tell, like, the left side of it is fading out from where my hands constantly touch it. I get more compliments. I get more compliments on this hat than probably anything else I've got. Like, that's a really nice hat. I'm like, thanks. It was a gift.
That's only because people hadn't seen him in those old coaching shorts yet. When that comes out,
I tell you, man, I've been doing them squats. I'm getting my legs looking real nice.
Okay, all right.
So, doing that.
You do got to have some quads to fill them things out properly.
It's not. They're not the most pleasant things to see.
To look at.
No,
absolutely not.
You were saying Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to think I'm like the Swede, If he got
sweet.
If he got out of the Marine Corps and let himself go, that's kind of where I'm at.
I love it. Well, Coach Pecor, man, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. Next Tuesday night, 6 o'clock at the at the Jetsplex. At the Jetsplex on the baseball diamond, man. At home plate. Let's pack it out, Coach.
Absolutely.
Let's go, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on board with us.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, Coach Kevin Pecor, the wrestling coach, James Clemens High School. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have our next guest. You're listening to James Clemens. What is this? This is the Wingman. Man, I was about to go football, wasn't I?
Yeah.
This is the Wingman podcast right here on PAS Plus.
Enter your name for Bucket and a Bite at jcwingmen.net. You could pick up a gift card from Madison Golf Center good for a large bucket of balls and lunch at the grill, along with a Wingmen t-shirt from Apparel Lab. We'll be back with more of the Wingmen.
Are pests invading your home or business? Mosquitoes embedded on your property? Maybe excessive crawl space moisture has attracted unwanted visitors. Then call RedHawk Pest Control, offering residential and commercial pest control, mosquito and brown recluse management, stinging insect control, foundation vents, and many other services to North Alabama and Southern Tennessee. RedHawk aims to be more than just a service provider. They want to build a long-term relationship with each customer. Call RedHawk Pest Control at 256-975-8817. Visit them on Facebook or online at redhawkpestcontrol.com.
Whether you're an experienced golfer or a total beginner, Madison Golf Center has the largest, most up-to-date practice range in North Alabama, including a complete teaching center with the best and most experienced instructional staff available at your convenience. Madison Golf Center features the most complete driving range facility around, with a large grass tee area allowing for 100 hitting stations a day with a 14-day rotation. Open every day year-round and located at 401 Lime Quarry Road, between Wall Trina and Hughes Road. Madison Golf Center.
If you're looking to make your business stand out, save yourself some time and make Apparel Lab in Madison your first call. Apparel Lab will help you grow your brand with custom t-shirts and hoodies using their unique direct-to-garment printing. Laser engraving can put your design on mugs and tumblers. Plus, they can help with custom-designed hats, stickers, banners, signs, decals, and much more. Apparel Lab. Call 344-4656 or visit them online at apparellab.inc and on Facebook and Instagram. Located in the Madison Mall Shopping Center on Old Madison Pike. Apparel Lab.
At Walk-On Sports Bistro, our love for the game, community, and heart of a walk-on make you feel like family the moment you walk in. Wings, shrimp, and burgers made from scratch, wall-to-wall TVs, and signature drinks. Founded by two LSU walk-ons, Walk-On Sports Bistro brings the cuisine, the culture, and the community to life. Always fun, never forced, and our doors are open to anyone. Walk-On Sports Bistro, 8368 Highway 72 West in Madison. Walk-On Sports Bistro.
You can't spell Wingmen without the letters W-I-N, and the Wingmen podcast has plenty of ways to win. How about a bucket and a bite from Madison Golf Center? Go to jcwingmen.net and enter your name. Then we'll pick from the online entries and give away a gift card good for a bucket of balls and lunch at the grill. Bucket and a bite from Madison Golf Center and the Wingmen podcast.
You're flying with the Wingmen on PAS Plus.
Welcome back to the Wingmen podcast right here on PAS Plus, live from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Madison on Highway 72. Just got through finishing. What was it, the sandwich I got? What was that? The
Blackjack chicken.
Dude, man, that was...
It's amazing, isn't it?
I'm going to tell you that I had enjoyed the Cajun Press. That was my go-to for everybody. Hey, what should I get? Get the Cajun Press. If you're wondering, get the Cajun Press.
Got a new fave.
I'm going to tell you, that's the best sandwich I've ever had.
It is quite possibly the best sandwich you can get anywhere.
I have... That was fantastic.
It's amazing. A little messy.
Little messy.
But well worth it.
Little messy. Got a little waffle fry action with it, and was really happy with that. So, hey, listen, you can go to your Amazon Echo device and say, Alexa, open PAS Plus, and you can hear the Wingmen in crystal clear quality all season long. On episode 14, we got one more episode. I think we're trying to get next week, man. Dude, how about that? Going to be at the baseball diamond?
I think that is a cool idea for us to go there. I know Walk-Ons wants us here. I love being at Walk-Ons. But if they're going to wrestle on the baseball field and have that type of atmosphere, I'm all for us having a table or a booth set up at the backstop.
Dude.
We don't know wrestling, but we can call the action.
Dude.
Come
on.
Hey,
I'll scream out, where's the figure 4?
Johnny didn't know football, and y'all let him have a forever Friday night.
I know.
So.
But yeah, I mean, he's learned a lot in a couple of years.
No, he knew more than he let on. He's a super smart guy. Don't let him fool you.
Something else I want to talk to you about, you can always go on to PASplus.net, or you can go to jcwingmen.net, and you can nominate a student, an athlete, an administrator, or anyone from James Clemens' family for a job well done. All you got to do, like I said, is go online to jcwingmen.net and nominate them for our weekly RedHawk Top Flight Award winner. They get a gift card from Walk-On Sports Bistro in Madison, and they also get a Wingmen t-shirt courtesy of Apparel Lab. So now we want to bring to the table, to the jump seat, if you will, assistant coach to the softball team. Brad, you're very familiar with this individual.
Oh, yeah.
But before we go any further, we've got sound effects. We want to introduce to you our RedHawk Top Flight Award winner.
The RedHawk Top Flight Award.
Assistant coach to James Clemens softball, Brooklyn Clark. Brooklyn, welcome to the table.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I'm going to put that microphone a little closer to you.
This is my broadcast debut, so I'm a little nervous, and I know y'all probably bypassed like 5 Top Flight Award winners, but I appreciate y'all finally getting to me, so thank you.
Well, you know
I bet she's louder than that on the field.
I bet she is too.
It depends on what happens prior to that.
I'm going to hand you this right here.
Oh, gift card.
She can get a little loud.
It's a gift card from Walk-Ons for being our RedHawk Top Flight Award winner, and that's not the only thing you get.
What else do I get?
You get an Apparel Lab, you get a Walk-Ons or Wingmen T-shirt that I know you're gonna wear it with pride.
I sure will.
And you also are in the drawing for all of our RedHawk Top Flight Award winners. Now, you're going up against me because I was a RedHawk Top Flight Award winner. I don't know if you know that.
How is that fair? You're the host.
Doesn't matter. I'm not the host.
He can't help who submitted him as a nominee.
Yeah, right.
But what that does is that puts you in the drawing for a year's worth of RedHawk Pest Control.
Pest control.
Free service.
Okay.
Free service.
That's expensive stuff, too.
It is. So you get a year's free. But again, like I said, you're going up against me and 12 others. It'll end up being 14 others after next week. So best of luck to you.
Yeah, thank you. You'll probably rig it, but it's fine. I'm kidding.
Actually, what I want to do is, and it's we want
to do a live drawing at the wrestling match next week.
Yes. I'm trying to get Trent Hurd from Redhawk Pest Control to come in and him doing the drawing.
Live drawing at the wrestling match.
I think that's awesome.
And we can announce it on the PA for everybody. We'll announce it on the podcast at the time. Have a RedHawk banner out there or something.
Yeah. I think the other thing we do is we get walk-ons. If they'll cater it, we get their manager to come out there and we talk to them a little bit. We hadn't had them on in a few months or a few episodes. So
man, they've been busy here.
They have been busy here. You know? But you know what? Let's go back over here to our guest. So
if we must.
So now Brooklyn, you have joined us. You've been consistent here almost every Tuesday night since we started this podcast, and we want to say thank you for that.
Oh no, thank y'all. What y'all do here is great. I love supporting good old Bradley Kimbrough here. Me and him go way back, so it's always I'm not gonna. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a good time. So I'm not gonna blast him on air.
We used to be close.
Yeah,
used to
up until like yesterday. So
yesterday was a holiday too.
Yeah, no. Actually, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. Yeah, we were really close for 6-8 years.
Yeah,
and we worked side by side together for the last 4. You know, I mean. This was like a stipulation for me coming and taking this job that we're going to get Brooklyn Clark hired. I want Brooklyn Clark. It was not, I want a female or I want to be able to hire somebody. It was, I want Brooklyn Clark.
Sure.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then, I found out this weekend that she organized and hosted a Friendsgiving.
You had a Friendsgiving?
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of people I knew were there, but I found out about it.
Look,
second or third hand. I got invited by someone else who was attending, and I said, didn't know anything about it.
That person is also sitting at the table behind us. She likes to stir the pot a little bit, but anyway.
Wait a minute.
No.
You see how she just deflected blame?
No.
Someone else told him.
No. Bradley lives an hour and 15 minutes from Madison.
Someday.
He goes to Florence on the weekend, so I wasn't going to send him a text say, hey, you want some turkey? Come down,
But
he
you know what? A real friend.
Would I saved him a plate?
Oh, not that. Just shot you an invite because she knows that I would have come up here for it. If it was important to her, I would have done it.
We're trying to teach our players accountability, so I will take control of this and say that was wrong, and I love you, and I'm so sorry.
That didn't sound genuine.
I said it was my fault. I started laughing. I think that was my fault.
Didn't sound genuine.
I set her up there.
I will make some fresh green bean casserole and bring it to you tomorrow morning. All right.
It's just not only if you add a little soy sauce, a little onion powder.
Yeah.
So I found that's how he likes to eat.
Brooklyn. I've said several times y'all need to talk to Brooklyn. She's got an amazing story.
I know we've talked about that after the games, but she's always busy after the games.
She's got a great story. Brooklyn, tell them where you're originally from.
Like, okay, I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after high school, you went to...
Yeah, so, I don't know. I was skeptical. I wanted to play basketball, like, after high school and stuff. But my senior year, I decided I wanted to play softball. It probably had to do something with the running, because who wants to run 10 suicides? You know, not me. So, I was like, I'd rather hit a home run and just jog around the bases. No, but I went to a junior college, and then I stayed there for 2 years, and then I transferred to UNA. So, I've been here ever since. I love Alabama. I don't think... Nothing wrong with Texas. I'm just from a small town where there's not a lot going on, and it's hot. I go down for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's like 90 degrees. And here we actually get seasons, so that's good.
She is super humble.
Yeah.
So I'm going to expound on her story a little bit.
I don't like to talk about myself.
No, she does not. She doesn't like for anybody to talk about her.
She was super excited, though, to come on the air.
Oh, yeah. She wants to be a part of it.
Well, because I've been here for 4 years, and this is my first time. I always say, hey, you need a guest? I'm here. No, this is the first time I've been asked, so from the bottom of my heart,
people want to know about you. So Brooklyn turned down basketball scholarship opportunities to go to junior college and was a standout there. Won how many national championships in 2 years? 2. Oh, that's right, 2 for 2. Was part of a national championship team. And then comes to UNA almost by accident, right?
Yeah, I played on like the junior Olympic team in Canada, and I had a couple friends playing at UNA, and after JUCO, I transferred to like NAIA for a semester. Wasn't really happy there, and then I started talking to them, and then I ended up at UNA. So I transferred after the semester in December and got to UNA in January. So I played like 1.5 years, and then I ended up being like a graduate assistant after. So
I met Brooklyn when I was on staff at UNA in 16 or 15, going into 16, and you could tell she was a stud.
Yeah.
I mean, she's all about practice when it was practice time. She's all about game when it was game time. There's not a play that she couldn't make. And, dude, at the plate, she could swing it.
Yeah.
She hit a home run at Gulf Shores in 2016 that hadn't landed yet. That thing is still traveling, or it's on an oil rig out somewhere out in the ocean. She can play, and she can still play. When she gets out there with a glove right now on a good day, she can still field everything.
So you decided, so you didn't take up softball, if I heard this right. You didn't take it up till your senior year, or had you played prior?
Like just in general?
Yeah.
No, I played softball my whole life.
But you gave up basketball by the time you became a senior, and you just wanted devoted.
Well, like I played softball and basketball my whole like younger years, high school years, and all that. And I wanted to play, or I wanted to pursue basketball in college. And then my senior year, something flipped, and I was like, no, I think I want to do softball in college. So that's when I started to like pursue like other opportunities. So I got a late job like recruiting, or a late start recruiting and all that stuff. So, but it worked out.
So back when you started playing, and even when you were coaching,
I didn't do much coaching.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, it's all right. But even then, I mean, just over the course of the past 15, 20 years, has softball become as big and as popular as it is now? I mean, you kind of were almost in the beginnings of that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I mean, softball has obviously like grown a lot since I've got done playing. Like I'm jealous how girls now get to use the freaking ghost bat that I had to use a Xeno, which I thought back then a Xeno had a lot of pop.
Xeno was the best we had.
And then I swing one of their ghost bats, and I'm like, what the heck? If I had this, we could have really done some damage. But no, it's just crazy. And like women's sports in general is just like it's growing yearly. I mean, we have like a lot of pro softball teams now. I wish I would have got like an opportunity. I'm not saying I would have gone pro or anything like that, but
she would have. She was a National Player of the Year in 2016. She would have got a chance to play.
See?
Yeah. And I don't know if I would have taken it, but I mean, it would have been cool to have the opportunities that like men did back then. But now it's like growing. So like young athletes, especially women, are like getting to pursue their dreams, I guess, if they really wanted to, because there's just more opportunities in general. So that's cool to see everything grow. Even the Women's College World Series, like it's grown at Oklahoma. They have all like the grandstand seating now, and it's just it went from like how many seating did it have?
I don't know.
Like,
it's grown.
Over doubled in seating
like,
over the last 10 years.
Just that environment, and like I've even gone there, and it's just crazy to see like all those D1 athletes play. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, since I've started calling, some of the softball games and even the baseball. But I mean, I played baseball, but and I played a little, I don't know if y'all know this, but I played a little slow pitch softball with,
as we all
at
did.
UNA.
Yeah.
I might have intramurals, but but I mean, even then, since I started calling these games, I've watched more softball to understand some of the dynamics of the game, because it's completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you got a badge, you got a glove. The general rules are the same, but there's so many different things where I've had to ask you, I was like, why is this person doing this when they can do, and it's all strategy.
It is, and that's what I think that's what she's alluding to. When she was younger playing, it was an old baseball coach coached it, and they coached it like baseball.
Yeah.
Or a female coached it who played slow pitch softball, and it's really over the last 15 to 20 years that you had kind of innovators in the game, try different things, do different things, and realize that you can be, over 150 years, you've done pretty much all you can do in baseball.
Yeah.
Right? We've tapped out on how creative you can be. So now you see something every 3 or 4 years that somebody does in the major leagues, and then other people try to implement that.
Yeah.
In softball, there was a time period in the 2006 to 2011 that it was almost like every week you saw something new at the high school level or the college level, that somebody was trying something new, and I can do that, or I can make that better.
Yeah.
And so the game constantly evolved, and you talk about watching it. I think that's the reason it's grown so much. When you watch the College World Series, and it doesn't have to be Division I. You go watch Division II softball games. It's so much faster. It's more intense.
It is.
I mean, the game is closer. It's tighter. And you're talking about some elite athletes playing the game. It is really fun to watch and watch those kids play.
So you talked about the bat. I mean, what other things do you wish they were doing back when you were playing?
Shoot, I don't even know. Look, we never, and I'm not saying I wanted a face mask back in the day, but we never even thought about wearing a face mask.
You wouldn't have wore it.
No, and now these bats have so much pop, which I coach corners mostly. So which props to our corners, because they don't wear face masks and that. But I'm like, I think you need it, because we have games all the time where we're hitting bullets at the third baseman, and they are just wearing it off the chest, even the head. I know last year we had an incident like that, but face masks are almost required now, especially for corner players and even middle infielders. The outfielders don't really wear it just because the pop off the bat is so dangerous. But we go to coaches conventions yearly, every January or December, January. We're usually going somewhere, learning the game, and it just goes from one extreme. You think you know it all the year before, and then you come back and you're like, holy crap, what is it? Because the coaches are just trying to stay on top of each other. They're trying to one up them, and it's insane how much you actually learn from going to conventions. So I don't know. The softball world has evolved, and I wish I was there to be a part of it, how it is now. But at the same time, holy crap, I don't know. So much has changed.
Yeah. So what's your favorite aspect of it though for you?
Oh man.
Playing or coaching?
Either way.
Because I can tell you this, coaching was a new world to her. I mean, we had multiple conversations, and only because I had gone through it myself. But especially once you've played at the elite level in college, and then you go to coaching high school, you forget what it was like at the high school level. I mean, I think that's fair for you, right? You're surrounded by people at the college level who are always working at a high level, always competing at a high level. They're living softball. And then you turn around and you start coaching high school, and you might have 2 kids like that on the team.
Yeah.
And that is a hard adjustment as a coach when you feel like you want it so much more than they do. It's a tough adjustment that we've talked about, but I love Brooklyn being here because she loves our kids. But she really loves James Clemens.
Oh yeah. I can't say enough of the admin, the school. I tell him all the time, if I could have any job in the world, I don't think I would ever leave, because I love it here so much.
Yeah.
It's just a whole family environment. You don't have anybody micromanaging you. The people are great. I tell him all the time, we talk about it as coaching staff, we have the best coaching staff in, I would say, the country, because we all get along. Yeah. We're all knowledgeable. We can cut up, but we know where the boundary is. I mean, we kick and scream and get in arguments sometimes, but mostly me and Gillis. But
you don't get invited to friends.
Yeah, when you don't get invited to Friendsgiving
we are past
and things.
that.
Yeah.
We are past that.
I don't know.
I'm not going to let stuff go.
I'm going to have a Friendsmas, and y'all are all invited. Everybody on air. I'll give you my address.
I ain't showing
DM
up.
me.
We'll just have our own.
Yeah.
Well, do what y'all want. You know. I'm just saying.
So what was the hardest pitch for you to hit? Oh, I'm looking.
There probably wasn't one.
That's what I was going to say. Is she going to say it? Are you going to say it before?
I mean, I didn't really like inside pitches. Like and that's weird to say because like most people can like turn on an inside pitch and like hit a home run, you know, to their side of the field. But like all of my home runs and everything was like oppo.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know if it's because, I really don't know. I don't know if I didn't like pick it up in time. I also didn't really think a lot whenever I was hitting. Like people now are just like, they're like looking at how the pitcher's holding the ball and how they're releasing it, and I'm like, I don't care.
See
like,
ball, hit ball.
I'm just like seeing it and I'm hitting it wherever it's at. That's how I did it. Like I didn't look at like it's such a numbers game and like detail oriented now, and I'm just like, y'all are crazy. Like hitting is simple if you make it simple. It's hard if you make it hard. Like see ball, hit ball, like you said, but. I don't know. I just try to make it easy. And we had a lot of fun. Like my senior year, well, actually all 4 years of college it was so fun just because of the players that we had. And we really were like a whole family-oriented group. We would goof off. We'd hang out outside the field, which we were either working out or on the field, or we were together all the time, but we would hang out outside the field a lot too. So culture has a lot of success, or a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of your success is predicated on your culture. Yeah, because if you don't get along, or if you don't hang out outside the field, if you don't know one another, you're not really going to be successful on the field. And that's what I think our team this year has. They're really getting along. Like I think it's the best team dynamic we've had since we've been here, and this is our 4th year. So props to them for, unless they're just lying to us and acting like they love each other, but they seem like they're having a good time.
So for you, what was the biggest adjustment though from coming being a player and now coaching these young ladies into becoming softball players? Oh God, it was frustrating. I talk to him all the time. Like I don't understand why they don't just like want it. Like what is going to get them to like want it? Want to put like full on effort in? Want to commit to it? And I know a lot of them don't play travel ball. You have a select few that do. This year we're lucky where a lot of them actually do play travel ball. But like working up to this point, it's been so frustrating. I'm like, I don't know how you've done it, and he's done a good job like talking me down because I'm a competitor, and it's hard when people aren't on that same level as you of like wanting it and how they can be okay with losing and it's okay to them. Like it's not okay to me. And so that was like the biggest adjustment, is like trying to figure out like a boundary and like seeing where they come from, because a lot of them were just, I mean, even up to this point, it's high school. They're just wanting to be a part of something. They're wanting to experience it. They're wanting friends. They're wanting all that. Where like college, you're all there for one reason, it's to play ball and to win. Mm-hmm. So I think that was the biggest challenge, is to trying to like get back on their level. Because I mean, I graduated in 2012 and then in high school in 2012, and then I started coaching here at 2021. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you had that almost 10 year gap of not being at the high school level, I guess. So the first year I started doing softball was her first year.
We came in together.
You came in together. So it was your first year too.
Oh yeah, myself, and Coach Rich. Yeah. We're the original. We're the OGs. Yeah. We're the OGs. Yeah. So
Gillis trickled in. I mean, we'll get to that story.
She's not going to give her credit for being an OG, but yeah, we were the OGs. We started out together, and I mean, what we have built and the culture shifts that we've been able to make in our program is due to them and the work that they put in. And I mean, we've worked hard. We've worked really hard, but there's no way we would have got this far without her. And it's what I told her when she came in is, hey, these kids are going to listen to you. Yeah. Right? I mean, you've got a resume that none of their other coaches are going to have. They're not going to have anybody else that's a 3-time national champion, that was a national player of the year, that had, set school records left and right, coached in college, coached in high school. I mean, they're not going to have anybody else. And at the end of the day, I always think that girls can look at me when I tell them stuff, deep down, they're going to look at me and go, yeah, but you never did this.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do it, but you never played in a game and did it. It's totally different when she looks at you and says, this is the way you have to do it, because she's competed at the highest level and been successful.
So Coach Kimbrough, what makes Brooklyn Clark our RedHawk Top Flight Award winner?
Well,
here we go. Get sentimental. Let's hear it. I look forward to this.
Going back to what I'm saying, she loves our kids.
Sure.
She does a great job for our kids, and she loves James Clemens. There's not anything that she won't volunteer for at the school. She's even took our players and helped our janitorial staff when they were behind. She signs up for every pep rally event that there is, whether Gillis made her to or not, right? But if there's a pep rally game to be had that teachers need to volunteer for, she's going to be in it. She's playing faculty student basketball game. I mean, there's nothing in the school that she's going to say no to because she does love this place and her heart's always in the right place. I don't know anybody that's got a better heart than Brooklyn Clark, and man, we're happy to have her on campus.
Can you still ball? Can you still play a little basketball?
You're talking about the faculty basketball game?
I'm just talking in general.
Look, they even shortened the game. We had like 2 5-minute quarters.
They got a little winded.
And me and Gillis were both tasting blood. We were like, are we dying? I think I see the afterlife. Like, what is going on here?
Legs are burning.
We went to the water fountain. I think they ran out of water. Like, we're like, where's the AED machine? I need something. But I mean, we're competitors. So we balled out there. We didn't want them to know that we were dying. But we ran out of there, and we probably had to get the stretcher and AED and some water ASAP.
So with that said, you're looking forward to the 2025 season.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think this is going to be, no disrespect to all the other teams that have come like before, but like just overall, the team dynamic, just like everything. They get along, they work hard, their efforts there, they're competitive. And we have a young team this year, and a lot of them have like stepped up into like team leader roles because they have to. And we talk to them all the time. We're like, I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. We only have one senior this year, and she's sitting right behind me, Laila Boycher, and she's only been here. She's only played softball for like 2 years. Yeah. But we couldn't do it without her because she's a great human being. I think y'all have had her on here before, but we're just a very young team. I think we have like 4 or 5 juniors, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores. So we're looking forward to it. I think we're gonna be a lot more competitive. We're gonna have more fun. We're gonna stay in games, and just compete. That's the biggest thing. What we haven't done is just compete and love or hate losing as much as you love winning. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. So,
well, congratulations, because you are our RedHawk Top Flight Award winner.
Yep.
The RedHawk Top Flight Award.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you being here each and every week for the most part. I mean, you've missed a couple, but we're not going to hold that against you because you are consistent and you've been here, and we appreciate that. And what are you showing me?
Oh, here we go.
Brooklyn Clark highlights.
Brooklyn Clark highlights.
College highlights.
I wish we could put that on there.
No. Got that last play of the national championship game on here.
Look, I'm very humble, and I hate talking about myself. Every time I go to a UNA softball game, they're like, "Oh, there's the D2 player of the year," and I'm like, "Can y'all please?"
She has to sign autographs and take pictures, and they line up.
Did y'all get national championship rings?
Yes.
Do you like walk in there with them on?
No, I have
she
them
only wear hers.
I have them in my trophy case at home.
Humble, but I got a trophy case.
I got a trophy case. I got a trophy case.
Participation trophies.
Ask her about the plaque she got for D2 Player of the Year.
Talk to me.
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk to you about it. Look, that's the highest award I've ever received, and I didn't even get a plaque for it.
Well, you got a gift card.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to take a picture of it. I may even save it and put it in my trophy case.
Well, save the paper. Use the card. Or you can keep the card, I guess. They just won't reload it. I don't know. Maybe they will.
They might.
I don't know. Well, Brooklyn Clark, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thanks for all that you do for James Clemens, and we're looking forward to a 2025, successful 2025 softball season.
Yes.
So, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll kind of start closing things out. I mean, we've had 2 phenomenal guests. And we've still got more to come. I know. It's crazy, isn't it? All right. Well, let's take a break. You're listening to The Wingman right here on PAS+.
Nominate an athlete, student, administrator, or another member of the James Clemens family for a job well done by going to jcwingmen.net and filling out the form for the RedHawk Top Flight Award. They could win a gift card from Walk-On Sports Bistro along with a Wingmen t-shirt from Apparel Lab, and at the end of the season, we'll draw from all the recipients for a year of service from RedHawk Pest Control. The Wingmen will be back after this.
Are pests invading your home or business? Mosquitoes embedded on your property? Maybe excessive crawl space moisture has attracted unwanted visitors. Then call RedHawk Pest Control, offering residential and commercial pest control, mosquito and brown recluse management, stinging insect control, foundation vents, and many other services to North Alabama and Southern Tennessee. RedHawk aims to be more than just a service provider. They want to build a long-term relationship with each customer. Call RedHawk Pest Control at 256-975-8817. Visit them on Facebook or online at redhawkpestcontrol.com.
Remember the days when you had that one mechanic you could count on time after time? At Madison Automotive, they believe that the key is building lasting relationships with their customers. Their experienced and certified technicians are passionate about providing high-quality services with honest communication and attention to detail. From routine maintenance to major repairs, Madison Automotive uses top-quality parts and state-of-the-art equipment to ensure your car receives the best care possible. Located at 9075 Madison Boulevard, call 256-772-0760. Madison Automotive.
One of the worst feelings you can have is that of being stranded. Well, BT's Towing, Tire, and Truck Repair makes that a thing of the past, with 24/7 towing services and roadside assistance in the northern Alabama and southern Tennessee areas. But that's not all. They also offer truck and trailer repair, mobile welding, brake service and repair, new and used tires, and other major and minor repairs. Their name says it all. BT's Towing, Tire, and Truck Repair. For 24/7 response, call 497-8234. That's 497-8234. BT's Towing, Tire, and Truck Repair. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
We're back with more of the Wingmen on PAS Plus.
Welcome back to the Wingmen podcast right here on PAS Plus as we start to wrap things up here at Walk-On Sports Bistro on Highway 72 in Madison. Kirk Pierce, Brad Kimbrough, Stone Cold Stretch Austin, Tim Lambert, all of us sitting here. Hey, Johnny Johnson, we miss you, man. Hope you're feeling better tonight. Missed some good guests tonight. I think he would have enjoyed talking to Kevin about the Diamond and being on the wrestling match at the baseball field.
You can talk to Coach Pecor about anything, and then Johnny does a good job of dropping in some really good interview questions.
He does.
Like unexpectedly. So I would have liked for him to have been around with Coach Clark on as well.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. So, so let's bring in our two final guests of the night. Are you ready for this?
One of our few repeaters.
I know. It's we don't really have a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had anybody twice.
Yeah, Flanagan bullied her way on.
Yeah, she did once. Yeah.
Well, other than Coach McGee,
Oh, well, that's right. That's right. But
let's forget that the podcast is kind of centered around this.
I mean, I guess what I'm getting at. Yeah, you're right. All right, I'm not even going to try to go any further.
We're making history.
You are. So Laila Boycher.
We're back.
Is that how you say it? How do you say it?
He dressed it up a little bit for you.
I gave you a little accent.
A little Boycher.
Boycher, like Boise. I think you should go with
Creole.
Boycher.
They probably do say Boycher.
A lot of people call me a butcher. I get butcher a lot.
Butcher. Nah.
All she butchers is the English language.
And Lilly tall. No, wait a minute. Lilly shorter, right? The opposite. So Laila and Lilly. So they were with us a few weeks back. I don't know. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks. Look at them smile.
Hadn't been long enough.
Look at them. Did you see what was the first thing she said when Tim brought them closer together?
Make us look good.
Make us look good.
Yeah,
and then some photo bombing.
Yeah, never mind the fact that we're on.
Oh, Coach Sanders.
Nobody can see us. So But so here's the deal. So just to kind of let y'all know how we got Laila and Lilly back is that they've come up here a couple of times on Tuesday nights and have been here and been really excited and kept asking us, hey, are y'all gonna do you need us? And so tonight we do.
Perfect.
We needed you, right? Mm-hmm. So what we wanted y'all to do is to do our top 5. Mm-hmm. Last time you were here, I had y'all read the top 5.
They did the top 5. That's right.
But this time, the two of you created.
We picked them out, guys.
So you're stepping it up, Lilly. You're saying this is new and improved.
New and improved.
This is not going to be topped, is what you're going for.
She doesn't even know what she's saying.
You're ready to roll with this. Are y'all ready?
We're ready. Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Top 5. What? So the top AI top 5.
What's the category?
What's the category?
Funny laws in U.S. states.
Funny laws in U.S. states. All right, here we go.
Number 5.
Hit it.
In Colorado, it's illegal to have a couch on the porch. That sounds familiar.
so in West Virginia, they would be out of luck.
Or Winston County, Alabama.
We've got a funny story. So Coach Clark's Aunt Carrie actually has a couch on the porch. Name drop. She has a couch on the porch. And she's like, Coach Clark thinks it's the craziest thing in America. Doesn't she have a bunch of stuff on it? Yeah, she does too. And so this just reminded us of Aunt Carrie.
All right.
Aunt Carrie is,
All right, here we go. We're ready for the next one.
Number 4.
In Maine, it's illegal to park in front of a Dunkin' Donuts. So where do you park? Just go eat there. Get your coffee and back it up in the back of it. Like, what do you do? I don't understand that. We're confused.
It's illegal to park in front of a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, you can't.
You have to park on the side.
This is times I wish we had a video element to this podcast.
We just like pull up in the back and then
straight
go in.
drive-through.
Is it like a dumpster?
This is what state?
Maine.
Maine. Okay.
Like no one knows a Maine, but like this is known.
All right.
I guess.
All right.
Number 3.
In Indiana, it's illegal to ride a horse above 10 miles per hour. You know how fast a horse?
I'm sure there's more to that. Probably on a public.
Probably. What do you use to measure the speed of a horse?
It's got a tachometer on it.
Well, here's the thing. Is it like what did Indiana Jones do? Because I'm sure he was going miles an hour.
Lon, listen. Listen, Indiana Jones has never been to Indiana.
Yeah.
He's from England.
And he was riding that horse in Egypt.
He was in Cairo.
Here's what's funny. We're at number 3. We're about to do number 2. And the two of them can't quit making each other laugh.
No.
Yeah, they can't.
All right, number 2.
Number 2.
In Iowa, you can't throw a brick in the highway. I don't know about you, but I think that's self-explanatory. Are the construction workers like
okay, time out.
Okay,
You're going to have to repeat that one.
That's fair to say. Not so self-explanatory.
Y'all kind of
started laughing
again.
In Iowa, you can't throw a brick in the highway.
In Iowa, you cannot throw a brick in the highway.
I feel like that probably should be like just a
I think
U.S.
standard law.
Yeah, like I don't think it should be Iowa exclusive.
All right, and the number 1.
Number 1.
In Oregon, it's illegal to go hunting in a cemetery. I don't know about you, but I pull up and
What if that's where the deer are?
Who are you gonna hunt?
I don't think I've ever thought.
You gonna hunt some ghosts? You gonna go pull out the Ghostbuster equipment?
That's where the big deer are. That's where I'm going.
So the top 5 funniest laws in the United States, and the number 1, you can't go hunting in a cemetery.
In Oregon.
In Oregon. It doesn't say anything about Alabama.
I think actually,
I'm putting a tree stand up in the cemetery tomorrow.
State the buffalo herd either.
There you go. I think all of those things are legal in the state of Alabama.
Probably.
Yeah. I know if you drive through Winston County or Walker County, there's couches on the front porch. There is hunting going on in cemeteries. There's bricks being thrown wherever.
So probably, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the state of Alabama, there is a house next to a cemetery with a couch on it, and they're hunting from the couch.
It's a trailer.
It's a trailer. You're probably right.
And I'm not knocking those. I used to live in one.
It's okay. So
it's just the porch wasn't big enough for a couch.
So Laila and Lilly, all right? So Laila, you are a senior.
Yes.
We talked about this last time you were on. So you are the lone senior on the softball team.
The only one left.
So you're the leader.
Pretty much.
Captain. You feel like it? I mean, do you feel like you're the leader?
Yeah.
What makes you a leader, Laila?
Well, I just, like, a lot of people come up to me and ask me questions about practices. I'm the first person they ask when, like, oh, what color shirt are we wearing? I'm usually the first person people come up to. And, like, all the freshmen, I feel like they look up to me, so I feel like a leader to them.
Yeah? Lily, would you agree?
I think so. I think she's a good captain.
Yeah? So what makes her a good captain then?
She didn't tell people the right color shirt to wear. Why do you do
You're
that?
not a good wingman.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all coming on and being a part of this with us. This is the second time that we've had Laila and Lily.
They will do it every week if you'll let them.
We for sure. This is so fun.
Are you gonna join us next Tuesday at the baseball field for the wrestling match?
Get this. Wrestling has a match next Tuesday
on the
baseball field.
What's happened?
So these are perfect ones to do this.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's gonna be. Listen to me. Imagine this: the big wrestling mat down at home plate, and teams in opposite dugouts, and we'll have a wrestling match outside. If we come and do a podcast at the backstop, and we get music going, PA system rocking, how many people do y'all think y'all can get there?
Oh, I could get the whole school there.
Well, then let's get on social media. Let's flood this thing out. Let's
Are we
pack.
trying to get everybody there?
We want as many people there because if the weather holds up and we're able to do this next Tuesday night at 6:00, we'll go on a little bit early, and we'll do the podcast from the Jetsplex, and we'll be there for the wrestling match.
Y'all pack this place out.
Okay, all right, I can do it. I can do it.
I think that's awesome. I think Coach Pecor is going to really.
Oh, dude,
I think he's going to.
He's gonna love it. There's gonna be so many pictures of him wearing those bike shorts.
He's wearing. Y'all ever seen the old bike shorts that
they don't know?
They not know. Wait,
That they wrestling?
No.
Are you talking about like what the people that ride the bicycles?
No,
wear the
those are
jumpsuit?
different. So if you go and you look at pictures,
the brand name.
the brand was Bike, and back in the late 70s, early 80s, and really throughout the 80s, coaches wore these coaching shorts that they wore tube socks all the way up to their knees, and they took their polos and they tucked them into these bike shorts with no belt.
Oh, wow.
If you watch Young Sheldon.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, the dad. Yeah, the shorts that the dad wears.
Oh, those khaki shorts?
Those were some of those. He did wear those.
Yeah, we've seen them. We've seen them.
So they're going to, Coach Pecor says he's wearing them next week.
Those are cute. I think we need to get Big Kim in those.
Those were my slow pitch softball equipment. When I played slow pitch games, that's what I wore.
All right, we got one more thing to give away tonight. We've already done our top 5. We've already done our RedHawk Top Flight Award winner, Brooklyn Clark, our coach, assistant coach at James Clemens.
What do you think about Coach Clark?
Oh, I love her Coach Clark. Like, she's like genuinely like, you can't say your coach is your best friend, but I say my coach is my best friend.
That's awesome.
I think the same.
Lily? Yeah?
Yeah, I think she's funny.
She's just a great person all around.
She's pretty knowledgeable.
She knows what she's talking about.
See, there you go. Testify right there.
By the way, they could not hear what I said earlier about Coach Clark. So that's spot on, guys.
You validated it. You validated Coach Kimbrough.
He's right. I mean, he's not right on a lot of things. He's right about this one.
So listen, you can register your name at jcwingman.net for Bucket and a Bite. It's a gift card from Madison Golf Center, good for a bucket of balls and lunch at the grill, plus a Wingman t-shirt from Apparel Lab. And we want to congratulate our Bucket and Bites winner,
the Madison Golf Center, Bucket and a Bite.
Sam English. Congratulations, Sam.
All right, Sam.
You are our Bucket and Bite winner. You get a gift card from Madison Golf Center. It's good for a bucket of balls and lunch at the grill. Plus, you get a Wingman t-shirt from Apparel Lab. And just real quick, Laila, Lily, y'all got anything y'all want to say closing us out tonight before we sign off?
It's just been an honor to be on.
Look at that. Wow.
We love it.
No, what did y'all eat tonight?
I'm on the carnivore diet, so I had 5 wings and a beef patty, like a hamburger.
What flavor were the wings?
Buffalo, because it's like the sauce is. You're not supposed to have sauce, but like it's the better sauce for you.
Have you done the honey? What is it? The stinging honey?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
That's good stuff.
Is that like hot honey?
Yes.
Oh, we make that at
Yeah, we know
Valentina's
what hot
Pizzeria
honey
Wine Bar.
is.
You should guys.
Pizzeria and Wine Bar. Why'd you say the whole
You can't talk
Wait,
about
why'd
that
you plug
place.
something? You can't plug something else.
You can't plug another restaurant. We're sponsored by Walk-Ons, like.
Yeah, this is the walk-on sponsor.
Why would she do that?
She means where she works, they make some kind of crazy sauce.
It's going so well.
It was going so well.
Done so well.
Now Tim's got to go in. He's got to edit. He's going to.
Oh, Tim, I'm so sorry. Tim.
Now the gig's up on Laila hosting her own podcast.
Yeah, now you're done. All you're going to hear for like 5 minutes of Laila is just.
Oh my! I'm so sorry, Tim.
Yeah, people aren't even going to know you were on here now.
I mean, I work at Valentina's Pizzeria.
You just said it.
Say it again. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm done.
You have to say
Yeah, that.
what's the code name?
Just keep digging the word.
Just keeps digging.
She can't stop.
She can't. She can't.
I have this
And
problem
why'd
with
you
her
say the
every
full,
day.
like-
Every day we have this problem. She don't know when to stop.
That's all right.
done.
Well, hey, listen, we want to thank our guest tonight, Coach Kevin Pecor, the wrestling coach at James Clemens. Make sure you come out next Tuesday night. Hopefully we'll be able to be on at 6 o'clock at the Jets Plex and have a little wrestling match out there at the baseball field. That'd
See
be
somebody
awesome.
get slammed.
I'd love to see that clothesline, figure four, get them in that lock.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah, got camel clutch. Remember the Iron Sheik? Dude, come on now. All right. I also want to thank Brooklyn Clark, our RedHawk Top Flight Award winner. I also want to thank Laila and Lilly.
Why
Even
not?
though we don't actually time out. I want to thank Lilly for being here tonight.
I like this guy.
So, now, thank y'all for being a part of this tonight. Brad, hey, man, 14 episodes in the books.
Doesn't seem like it, does it?
No, it does not. Stretch 14 episodes, man. Where you at?
I don't know. I don't know.
He's not the best color man in the league for nothing.
That's why
folks.
we have him. Tim, what are you thinking, man? 14 episodes in the books.
Where did the time go?
Well, I think that wraps it up
There
right
it
there.
is.
I think that's going to wrap it up. Well, I tell you what, let me read my outro right here. Here we go. You ready? Well, that's a wrap, folks. It's another episode in the books. Remember, confidence is key, and every guy deserves a wingman. You can follow us on social media accounts. You can leave a review. And until next time, for Lone Star, who's not here, for Homebrew, for Oz and Stretch, I'm your captain. Please keep flying high. And as always, thank you for listening to the Wingmen podcast on PAS Plus. And as always, go Jets.
Go Jets.
Thanks for listening to The Wingmen. Check out the archives online at jcwingmen.net or on your favorite podcast platform. Your hosts have been Kirk Pierce, Coach Johnny Johnson, and Coach Brad Kimbrough. Theme music by Jordan Lambert and Sean Lovell. Join us again next time for The Wingmen. And go Jets.